Hello, my name is Jacob, and I am a Norse Pagan, and welcome back to Denmark. So this video should be releasing right in the middle of my Denmark, Germany, Northern Germany trip, and I really just wanted to release this to kind of show a reflection. So as I started this journey, I started in the southern Netherlands for the Netherlands Gathering, and then have been slowly working my way up towards Scandinavia, and right now I'm in about the midpoint of Denmark. And so as I've moved further north, I've begun to experience Midsummer and the summer solstice even more as I've gone further north. So as it stands right here in Denmark, the sun sets right around 11:30, which is insane. For perspective, where I'm from in Kentucky, even at the height of summer solstice, it'll set around 10 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, it's pretty much dark. But last night, the first night in Denmark, the sun, like there was still sunset, like orange sunset at 11:30. And then the sun rose, like there was clear sun rising by 3:30 in the morning. Because I remember I woke up and freaked out because, you know, I was supposed to go do something. I was like, oh my gosh, I slept in. And I looked at my phone and it was like 3:45 in the morning and there was daylight out. And I'm like, what the fuck? So this really made me think, you know, reflecting on this, because in the Netherlands for the gathering, the days were so long. And of course, as we move further up, and then of course here in Denmark, it's just so drastically different. But then again, the opposite is true. Look back in Denmark in the winter and the sun sets around 3 o'clock in the afternoon here, which means it's very, very dark for most of the day, which is one of the reasons I think that the Danes and Denmark has this hygge culture, is because you have to have it. You have to have some form of joy and happiness in the dark, because I mean you have to, otherwise you'd go crazy. And people have evolved and their culture has evolved with that darkness. But at the same time, that culture has also evolved with the opposite, with extremes amount of daylight. I mean, right now it is 9 p.m., pushing 9:30, I think, and we still have 2-3 more hours of daylight. I really have trouble finding the words to express what this means, I think, to the past and what evidence that gives us now practicing this faith today. So let me go find a nice viewpoint of the ocean, because it's actually on the other side here. So let me go find a nice viewpoint and I'll try to find the right words to kind of put this together, why this, I think, means so much to us as pagans now. Okay, I think I have the best way to describe this. I mean, think about small talk. Every time you talk to somebody, I mean, the people here in Denmark, the people in Germany, the people in Greece, the people all across the United States, when the main topics of discussion is the weather, is, you know, oh, it's sunny today, oh, it's gonna rain tomorrow, whoop, sure is a hot one today, sure is cold today. And so this basic conversation would have existed in the past as well. People would have talked about the weather. Is it going to be nice today? Is it going to be cold tomorrow? Oh, remember how bad the winter was last year? Remember how great the summer was? Weather controls almost every aspect of our lives, because especially in the past, like if the weather was a certain way, you couldn't do certain things. And in the past, the weather was tied to the gods. The seasons were tied to the gods. And so therefore, to have good weather, you had to have a good relationship with the gods, the deities, with the nature spirits around you. To have good harvest, to have good fertility, good prosperity, you had to go to the gods. And that has changed in our modern times, because we have answers for everything. Oh, why is it hot today? Well, it's because this weather pattern, because the sun's this close, because of this thing. You know, we have everything explained through science. And so we don't need the gods anymore to explain why the weather does things. But I think one of the reasons that we are the way we are is because that's not enough. That's not enough for pagans anymore. That's not enough for humans to simply know the science behind it, because it doesn't change the fact that this sunset isn't beautiful. Just because we know the sky is blue because of the water reflecting and the light coming down, and that's a giant ball of fire, and this is sand below my feet, just because we know the science behind it, doesn't change the fact that this is magical. That looking at this giant ball of fire in the sky, reflecting off the giant thing of water at my face on this beautiful sand dune, there is still magic there, even though we can explain it. And I think that's really the magic of Midsummer is, yes, we can explain the tilt of the earth and why we have longer days, and why, because we're up here instead of down here, tilted towards the sun, we have even longer days. Even knowing that, reflecting on it now, it's still something so significant, because it means there's people at the beach, all around the beach, all across here. People across Denmark have flocked to this island, this honestly desolate piece of green. This is the extent of the houses here. It's not a huge island. There's a beautiful drive coming up, and people flock here. There's a history here. People in the 50s and 60s that had pictures. There's a little beach town. People have come here to celebrate summer, because I guarantee you they're not here in winter. So culture has been built around seasons, and it might be in layers of Christianity or modern culture now, but what it is to be human is to reflect on the seasons, to change who we are based on what is happening in the world around us. And even the Danes, who lived in extreme darkness, found a way to come out of that with hygge, with warmth and coziness. And then of course here we have people flocking to the beach to enjoy summer. And while it may not be a religious thing, it's still a cultural and part of humanity thing. And maybe this is all just me trying to tell you to go outside, because that's how you really connect everything. But really what I've reflected on in Europe is religion doesn't have to be this explosive thing. It can be. I've had big religious experiences, but sitting here looking at the sunset over the North Sea here in Denmark, celebrating the beauty of this world with the people eating ice cream, with the people at the dunes, just walking through the water. They may not be pagans, but they're humans. And we're all experiencing midsummer. We're all experiencing the solstice together. And that's beautiful, just like how we experience winter together. Anytime we talk about the weather with another human being, we're reflecting on what it is to be us. And I think that is just absolutely incredible. So I do think that giving offerings is important. I think having these seasonal celebrations is very important. Honoring and slowing down to realize what is happening at this time of year. Now, maybe I'm able to say this because I'm not in Kentucky absolutely sweating myself to death right now, because the weather in Northern Europe may be hot, but it's very favorable. So I'm really just trying to push you during this season. Summer is not my favorite time of year. I mean, I'm sunburnt. I have sunburns all over my body already. Summer has never been my favorite time of year, but I really have learned as a pagan to slow down and really reflect on the gifts of summer, the long days, the beautiful nature, the ocean, the feeling of cool breezes, the feeling of cold water, swimming, bicycling, doing everything you can outside and exploring this world with how long we have to enjoy it. It's something that we truly miss in the winter. So I think that's the final note I want to leave you on this very short but hopefully inspirational video to show you to really just appreciate what we have every single season. And even though we know why that giant ball of fire is beaming down on us for extra long during the summer months, even though we know that, our ancestors recognized there was a magical property to that, and they held a magical event to honor that time of year, just as they had an event to honor the darker times of the year. So get out there, celebrate with your other humans, whether they're pagan or not, and just enjoy summer and slow down and reflect on the gifts that we have every single season. So thank you all so very much for joining me for this very random and all over the place video, but I really just wanted to share this with you as it was a thought I was having as I was traveling further north and experiencing such long days that have been amazing. So thank you all so very much. And until next time, and until the hall, Skål.
you.